Good morning, everybody. So for today's video, 7 high heat bangers designer edition. This was originally supposed to be a top 5, but I'm like, you know what, this is gonna have to be 7 because these two fragrances here are absolutely fantastic. And let's go with the first one that originally did not make the cut. And most of these I would say are gonna be under $60 minus 2, and one is gonna be designer luxury, so you're gonna spend a little bit extra cash. But first one is most certainly a cheapie, Roshas Mustache Original, 1949. This is a wonderful smelling fragrance that has this old school vibe, but that's also modern. Oh yeah. So there's a lot of lavender, there is a lot of citrus. That citrus for the most part is going to be lemon. But there's also bergamot, there is neroli, there is violet to add this powdery undertone. The base is musk, moss, and patchouli. So that, including the citrus and this lavender, give off this old school touch, yet modern. Heavy citruses with lavender, and it gives off this old school barbershop feel. I would say out of this one, including one other one, I would say are the most classiest ones. The rest I would say are just casual feel goods. This one here is definitely a great suit and tie fragrance. But so if you're looking for something old school with like musk, moss, patchouli, lemon, and lavender, this one is definitely for you. And this is $40 or less Canadian. So that's like $25 USD. Number 2, this one never makes any lists whatsoever, and I discovered it last year. It is a unisex fragrance, and I think it's a great smelling scent. Mugler's Blow It Up. Now what makes this different is going to be the blackcurrant, which is fruity. It is there. You're also going to get sorbet to add this creamy dairy, like ice cream vibe, but as well there's going to be vetiver as the backbone. The vetiver is woody, but it's mostly, for me, it's the creamy sorbet and that blackcurrant. This for me is definitely a feel-good fragrance. I do think it kind of leans a little bit more towards the ladies. High heat banger for sure. I would also say that this is also a little bit more youthful as well. Next one, oh my goodness. This is a diamond in the rough. Burberry. This line never really caught on. It's just a lot of people's like, you know, whatever. It's just, it is what it is. But this fragrance, I would say, is their best. I would also say is probably one of their more popular ones because I think there's only 4 or 5 at the most. But that's going to be Burberry Indigo. So Mr. Burberry Indigo. What makes this one really nice is the mint. There's also sea notes. There is citrus with oak moss. There is going to be tea, sage, rosemary. So it's green, it's herbal, it's fresh, citrusy with a little aquatic as well, and very aromatic. This including the next one, I would say just leave this pep to your step like no other. Let's go to that next fragrance that I said this one and the next one, just leave this pep to your step. I know I didn't go into great detail about that one, so any reviews that I've done, they will all be down in the description box below if you want more detailed reviews. But this one here is my absolute favorite from the 7, and it's a special edition. Special release that came out 2 or 3 years ago, but it's still available surprisingly on FragranceNet. Lacoste L1212 Blanc Roland Garros. What really makes this a special fragrance is that it's just so green. It's like a green pasture with a lot of mint. There is eucalyptus, and I am not a fan of eucalyptus, but in this it's done beautifully. But there's also a lot of green parsley, surprisingly, which adds this extra freshness. And what really makes this pop, like just kaboom pop, is the finger lime. So finger lime, eucalyptus, parsley, like who would have thought? There's also some star anise to spice it up just a little bit, and there's also going to be clay. Now the clay itself maybe adds this earthy touch. I don't know, but it's supposed to be like a tribute, I'm guessing, to like the stadium, Roland Garros. And it also has like cedar woods and I believe clary sage. So overall, just super green, extremely energizing, very aromatic. That just, like, I'm not a summer person, but when I wear this, I just got this extra boost of confidence. To check this one out, you unfortunately have to blind buy it, which I am not one to recommend blind buying because it's always a gamble. Even if it's 10 bucks, 10 bucks is 10 bucks. This is gonna cost you a little bit extra. It's like $60 to $80 Canadian, so like $45 to like $60 USD. But this, for me, is a safe blind buy. Next one is gonna cost you a little bit more money, and I think I said only 2 or 3 are gonna cost you a little bit extra. It's probably this one as well, so maybe 3 or 4. And this one is discontinued. You can still get it here and there. That's why it's gonna be a little bit extra cash, but that's gonna be Bvlgari Aquamarine put on. This was very popular over 10 years ago when I came into this community. So I'm an old relic, I'm an OG, I'm an old grandpa. But this reminds me of the good old days. You know, when things were simpler in this online space where people were not so much about the business, they were more about this, more about the friendships, the connection. So it wasn't about the money, the clout, and you know, and there's some good positivities with like how influencers have gone. This old man will definitely state, but this does remind me of back then. It's green, it's salty old man, but it has a lot of aquatics, and that greenery, that saltiness is from the seaweed. I really like that aspect, but there's also watery notes. There is neroli, there's going to be some petitgrain, some amber. Don't get the amber, there's going to be some mandarin orange along with Virginian cedar. But for the most part, it's just very salty, very aquatic, a lot of seaweed with citrus and maybe a little bit of woods. This is a high heat banger. This one, and I gotta make sure, this one is gonna be one of the more different ones from this list just because of that salty aquaticness. Now we did state that there is going to be a salty aquatic and that's going to be the last one, but this is just a feel-good scent. It's a banger. This is like when you're on the dock fishing, or you're on the dock with a Corona in your hand, or by the poolside. Next one is going to cost you a little bit more money, but it's actually still quite affordable. And if it wasn't for Coach Rob 619, I would not have known about this one. So some of y'all are already knowing that it's Carven. That is Carven Low Intense. This is going to be one of the more classier ones from this list because it does have a lot of woods. It's lavender with a lot of mint and a little bit of citrus such as Italian lemon, grapefruit, but there's also ginger and cardamom to warm it up. Now when it comes to suit and ties, these two here are perfect semi-formal like events. Like if you're going to a wedding, daytime, and semi-formal event, these are perfect with a suit and tie. These are also perfect with like a sense of style, but that's like business casual, but like preppy. You know, that's what I should have said. Preppy sense of style, summer fashion. These are just great for that. But there is a certain class, a certain elegance, and a certain maturity to this one here. Young people can rock this. This is not high school, but when I mean by young people, I'm thinking of someone who's in college, who's maybe a little bit more mature, a little bit more ahead in life, like up here, who's just an old soul. That's what I should say. But just a wonderful high heat banger scent that has more class to it. Next one is going to be the last one, and it's going to be the most expensive one in this video. I'm not sure if they discontinued it or not. I wouldn't be surprised because this brand tends to do that, and they also tend to up the price tag while lowering the quality, unfortunately. But that's going to be Tom Ford Mandarino di Amalfi Aqua. Now this is definitely a high heat banger. It's a feel good fragrance. This is from their luxury line with niche price tag prices. That is what I hate about Tom Ford. But a lot of the fragrances that they put out just smell amazing. The guy, in my opinion, is a genius at what he does. This has a lot of notes, but it's a lot of citruses. There is this soapy clean aspect, so I'm not sure if it's neroli, but there is going to be orange blossom to add this white floral touch. There is lemon, bergamot, grapefruit, so a lot of citrus. There is going to be mint, basil, there is musk. There's going to be some white florals of jasmine along with thyme, and something called shiso. I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong a lot of the times, but what I get is that I get a lot of citruses. I feel like there's some aquatics to it, or some lavender. A lot of soapy neroli or orange blossom. So this is most certainly a unisex fragrance. It's right down the middle, so guys and girls can rock it. And guys, that is 7 High Heat Bangers Designer Edition. If you like this very video, please drop me one of these. If you want more detailed reviews on any of these fragrances, they will all be down in the description box below. I have talked about all of these. What videos to watch next? Well, I have done videos such as this in years prior. Check out right here. However, I will state some of these videos might intertwine a little bit. However, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody.